That Movember, that first year was actually really hard. And it's not something, I actually haven't told a lot of people this, but while I was doing all those burpees, my husband was going through bad depression, and something that I had a feeling there was something going on, and he knew it as well, but didn't know it. And it was a really shit year. And I was actually drinking a lot throughout that month, just trying to numb all these stories that I was hearing about people. Like every single day, I was receiving these stories from strangers, people I'd never met, about their suicide attempts, and how they lost their dad or their brother or their best friend, or this is what's happening in their life. And I invited that in, but I didn't know how to deal with it.
I imagine it's probably
it was
pretty
so much
triggering as well.
Yeah, I think it's like mental health doesn't discriminate, right? At all. Prostate cancer is, the highest, rate of deaths in men over, 40. It's ridiculous. We're all affected, but it made you realize that you weren't alone, and what I was doing was for something that it had nothing to do with me. It became something way bigger.
But you're talking about the month drinking, like obviously started drinking.
Oh
heavily.
yeah, I didn't know how to deal with it. I didn't know how to deal with it. I actually remember reaching out to Movember, being like, guys, I'm really, really struggling, and I ended up talking to their in-house psychologist and their support team a lot about it, and that helped me a lot. I think I went off social media for a while after that too, just being like, I just can't.
Needed a break.
It needed a break. But I think the year after that was when, it became more about my husband.
Yeah.
Without being able to announce that yet. He was like, I'm not ready for that.
He's obviously comfortable with you talking about it now.
Yeah, it was last year. So year 3, he goes, Till, we're just sitting on the couch and we're coming up to Movember, and he just said out of the blue, hey, Till, I'm open to talking about, my story now, if it's going to help other people.
Yeah.
And then he just went to the toilet or something. I just sat there and I just went,
come back on and talk about. Yeah.
I lost it.
Yeah.
To hear a man say that they are comfortable with talking about something that has rocked them and changed their life, and, in good ways and bad, that is incredible, absolutely incredible. And to hear, men talk that openly and candidly, that it's huge. It truly is.
But you've obviously created such a safe space, obviously in a romantic relationship, but that would be hard. Like I know of a lot of mates who probably aren't comfortable having that conversation with their partner, you know what I mean? Huge.
Biggest takeaway from that, we don't need to talk. We just need to listen.
100%.
Right.
What were the little things that you first started picking up on with your partner when you said things weren't feeling right? What were the little things that you started noticing? There's so many little things in hindsight when you look back on it. Increase in drinking, I think with men, obviously substance and alcohol is a huge thing. So increasing drinking, just being, not going outside and, sticking in his office and staying there the whole time. Lack of energy. So he was obviously searching for ways to get better. Like
totally.
he would have known in himself that he wasn't the way his normal self.
100%.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of these things, it comes from obviously either generational trauma. Money is a huge thing, especially with dads. They're in a position where they're like, I need to be the provider. I need to, have everything in order, I wish I could just say that's not like
in this current day and age, it's a team effort.
It is a team effort. I can talk on probably behalf of the men's point of
Please,
view, where
yes.
it is such. I'm not a dad. Like, I don't know
Doesn't
the feeling,
matter, but it's
I
a
know
responsibility that you feel like you should have, right?
that feeling of wanting to be able to provide. Like, I've been in that space, and
Yeah.
I imagine it's probably, I think having kids would probably amplify that, like that needing of
Massively.
am I making enough money? Is this enough? Am I enough? Like, I feel like that would be a huge thing for a lot of guys, and probably that's why you see so many guys like overworking, because it's like, guys, we've got everything we need here.
Right?
But when you're in that little bubble of just trying to, like, you want to give your family everything,
You
right?
always want more.
You want more, but you also want to give your kids everything as well. I
Totally.
imagine I see that with a lot of mates who are overworkers, and like, fuck, kids probably just want to hang out with their old man.
They just want you around,
They don't give a
right?
fuck about like
Yes.
what car they're
Put
driving.
some random makeup on, play hair, let's, play dolls. Yes, yes, 100%. But unfortunately, that's like,
Yeah.
it's so common.
So when did it start to, was there a pivot? Was there a point where it got so bad that you had to seek help, or was it a gradual sort of increase?
I'll never forget getting off the phone to him. One day I was just driving home from work and I called him, and he just sounded wrong. It just sounded wrong. And I remember hanging up the phone and just being like, am I going to go home and he's going to be there but not be there? Like, I genuinely thought that day was so scary.
Yeah.
That day was so scary. And then I think that was the point in time where he just started talking. He just had to start talking about it. But I remember what he said to me. He goes, "Till, I don't need your advice. I don't want your opinions. I just want you to listen." And I was just like, fuck, I just need to like sit here and listen to him. And he just needs to be able to get it off his chest. And that is enough. That is enough. We don't have to be here and try and solve the world's problems. We just need men to be able to talk.
Yeah.
And that is enough, right?